What's up, and welcome to episode 3 of the Nerdgasm Podcast. Today you have Willie, aka Unofficial Ninja.
Zach, Romeo 313.
Brandon, a.k.a. Cutie Toe.
Jules, a.k.a. Fade Alexander.
And today we'll be discussing, can Nintendo survive into the future in its current state? Are pre-orders worth it anymore? And 90s cartoons being rebooted. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. Can Nintendo survive into the future in its current state?
So, you know how I feel about Nintendo. You know, they've been around now, what, 25 years? Mario just turned 25. I think Mario turned 25. And that's not counting Nintendo in and of itself. That's just Mario, Super Mario Brothers. Or is it Super Mario Brothers 3 that just turned 25? Regardless, 25 years, right?
Google.
So, I personally think that, yeah, Nintendo in its current state is going to stay around. If you're basing current state on, and I guess they need to understand what you're basing current state on, really. So, are you basing current state on their console?
Like, yeah, a hardware company.
Okay. So, and by hardware company, are you saying that they're not up to par with PlayStation 4 and Xbox 360? Or Xbox One?
Correct.
Okay. So,
handheld, they're pretty solid right now.
They're the best handheld. They've always been the best handheld, so that goes without saying. You can't top them with a handheld. Everybody's tried, and they just step on whomever else comes around. So we're going to look at it from a console perspective. Has there been a time where Nintendo has been the leader in console post 1989?
Mm-hmm.
I thought the Nintendo 64, GameCube...
No, 64 was okay. The GameCube was kind of iffy. The Wii is the best-selling console of the last generation. Okay. It made more money than all of them because when the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 came out, they took a hit, and they made their money. It took them years to make money off of their consoles through game sales. Now, the Wii came out, they were making a profit on every single Wii. Everybody had a Wii. My parents have a Wii. They don't even play video games. So if you want to look at it from a dollar perspective, they haven't lost money until this console.
So I guess what I was getting at is, if you're basing it on if they're the superior console, no, they never really have been. You know, PlayStation was arguably a better console than the N64. PlayStation 2 and Xbox were arguably a better console than the GameCube. Some would even argue that they were better than the Wii. And as far as mechanics and graphics and capability of gaming, the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One are leaps and bounds over the Wii U. But yet, for some reason, Nintendo just keeps making money, keeps making fun factor games, keeps making fun factor
reiterating?
No.
Reimagining?
Their console, and they keep doing well. That's consistently the one console that you see sold out in the stores.
They lost a ton of money on the Wii U. The only time they really turned around was once Smash Brothers and Mario Kart 8 came out. That's when they finally started selling consoles. So they're already behind their competition already.
But we're 2 years into this generation. Like, you pump out a Legend of Zelda, that's going to push some console sales like nobody's
but you're
business.
2 years into a generation, and you're just now starting.
Didn't they say that they conceded at this point? They're like, meh, the Wii U didn't sell. We're going to just, truck it on.
I mean, if you look at the way that they market their games, I mean, really, it's a first generation process of the only thing that they really make money on are the games that they make themselves. Whereas the other consoles, they have some pretty big hitters that are made by Microsoft and Sony, but they really live and breathe by the third-party folks because they produce the majority of the games. With the Wii, I mean, I owned a few games for the Wii. Every single one of them was Nintendo. If I had a Wii U, if I had a handheld, it would be really only games that Nintendo makes. So their strategy has been, for a while, we're just going to do what we do well. We know it's going to sell. You make a Zelda game, it's going to sell.
You make a Zelda console?
You make a Zelda console. You only have to make one every
3 years,
4 years, and it's going to sell like crazy. You make a Mario game, you make a Smash Brothers game, a Mario game, and a Mario Kart game.
It's
pretty much you make one a year, and they're doing all of their sales off of 4 games, and they get to sit back and just relax.
I have
software. you're mentioning pretty much nothing but software.
But proprietary software that only
works
on their console.
That only works on their console, and that forces you to buy their console. How many people bought the Wii U for Mario Kart?
It's mainly, the Nintendo fanboys. You have to eventually start expanding your customer base. The Nintendo fanboy, well, that's what I'm saying.
But who isn't a Nintendo fanboy on some level, right? If you like video games and you're our age or even younger, on some level, you're a Nintendo fanboy. Because if you don't have a Wii U, you got a 3DS if you're a gamer. I mean, like, you go to a convention, you see all those 3DSs out there getting street passed like crazy.
I just recently got a Nintendo Wii, and that's mainly because it was on a ridiculous sale. It's like the only reason I bought it. So even though I love like Mario, Zelda, those characters and stuff, I'm not a fanboy in the sense of like they really didn't sell me on wanting to get the console.
Did you get a 3DS?
I'm the same way. I got a Wii at work. It was given to me as a prize. I would not have purchased one. It sat in my closet for 3.5 years before I even opened it. I do not have a 3DS. I don't have a handheld at all. I do not have a Wii U. They're just not my console anymore. I'm the guy who needs the graphics. I'm the guy who needs 50 million games. I've passed them by. They gave up on me. They're focusing on other people, and that's fine.
But you like their software, though, right? Do you like Mario? Do you like Zelda? Things like that?
I used to, but I don't buy them because I don't have those. I didn't buy.
Yeah, you're not going to buy the console just to play.
But that was leading into my point, though. Overall, is that I think that in the future, for them to still be a successful company, profitable company to the point to where they're able to keep up with the competition, make their shareholders happy, they're going to have to stop being a hardware company. Like, basically,
they're not going to go the way of Sega.
They need to stop being a hardware company and focus on their software only. Maybe making their software available on mobile devices.
They did release that.
They talked about that.
They talked about that. Making an emulator so you could actually
play old school
games. Nintendo emulator on mobile devices. And they understand that's viable.
And that's what they're going to have to start moving to in the future. Like, even Sony and Microsoft, like, I don't think that they're going to keep having consoles for, I think this and maybe another generation, they'll have another console. But after that, I think it's just going to be a streaming device. Like a device that you buy, it has all the games streaming to it, and that's it. So it's more of a software focus. We're already seeing them go into it, like PlayStation Now. That service right there, it's almost them basically getting the customer condition of Steam too, getting the customer condition to just stream games or download games directly, and then services like PlayStation Now, that gives them a chance to start testing the server capabilities and the quality of it. If they're doing that currently, just imagine like 10 years down the road how much better it can be. We're getting Google Fiber, so you're going to have even higher speed internet available.
Well, you're assuming that people play games like that, because in this room right now, I would say probably half this room has never used Steam to purchase a game.
I like hard copies.
I know you haven't. I haven't. Do you use
Steam? I have bought a couple games on Steam.
I've downloaded from like Xbox Store and PlayStation Store before in Nintendo Store.
Yeah, with Steam.
I would want a hell of a price break though.
But I don't play a lot of PC games, so most of the ones that I get are going to be on the console side. But I have downloaded some like Portal and stuff like that.
I'm almost exclusively digital at this point, even on the consoles.
Yeah. They like physical copies of things, whereas it's about to be where you don't have an option. It's getting towards that. They're going to save money.
I mean, it'll be there eventually, but at the same time, like, you know, the trend is like there's got to be a price break there because you're paying for manufactured goods. So if I'm gonna buy something, right, then this is my thought process.
Yeah, you can't charge me $60.
Exactly. I don't mind.
Oh, sure they can.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they can.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but like at the same time, or give me a tchotchke or something, right? Like maybe I don't have a disc or a thing, but maybe you give me something to replace.
And I think Nintendo, we're using Nintendo for example, has really understood that because they also have the option for the digital download, but they also make those games in a physical copy, and they even made some of them exclusively digital only as add-ons. And like, wait, this isn't doing too well, and like so the Super Mario Brothers Wii U. And then they released the Luigi Brothers Wii U for the year of Luigi. And that was digital only. And they were like, oh, wait. Nope. We're going to release this as a separate, standalone, actual, physical copy of a game. I think they understand that not everybody, especially if you're a Nintendo person, fanboy, fangirl, you're not going to just want the digital whatever it is. That's just me. I will honestly probably stop buying games if they go all digital. I don't do that.
What's the best-selling console of all time? Think about it,
PS1, wasn't it? Or PS2?
And you might fact check me on this because I think I'm pretty wrong. Or I think I'm pretty. No, I'm sorry. I'm almost 100% sure I'm right, but it's the 3DS. The 3DS is the best-selling console of all time.
Console or handheld?
Well, there's another topic.
There's a distinction.
Honestly.
I wouldn't call that a console.
You wouldn't?
No. I would call that a handheld. It's a handheld.
Yeah.
It's not a console. Console is something you sit and you connect to your TV and you play. A handheld is a mobile device, starting with the Game Gear and the Game Boys. Those were not consoles. Now it may be stronger than some of the consoles we've seen.
Oh yeah,
in the past 15 years, but all of that's going to continue.
Well, then what is the best-selling console?
I'm still looking it up. Trying to find it.
PlayStation 2 in the worldwide units.
Okay, I can see that. I can see that. Everybody on the PlayStation.
So you can't me for no reason. Oh, Artificial Ninja.
I don't know. I think that's debatable. I still think that's debatable.
155 million copies with the PlayStation 2, the PlayStation, then the Nintendo Wii is third, and then Sony PlayStation 3. And then Xbox comes in with the 360, and then Nintendo comes in with the rounding out the top 5 or top 6.
Just the original.
The original Nintendo.
And then the original Nintendo, and then directly after the original Nintendo is the Super
just
Nintendo.
4 of those damn things.
So
where'd Sega get?
Sega Genesis came in after the Super Nintendo, and then the N64. So, and then the Xbox, then the Atari 2600, and then the Xbox, and then the GameCube. So Nintendo has showed itself in the top 10 almost four times.
Well, we know it wasn't the
trend of the bell curve. While the other ones are kind of going up, and with the change in the industry overall.
Microsoft's only in there once. Granted, they only have 2 systems, but still.
Not to mention the fact that, okay, so maybe it's not a console, but literally the 3DS has kept Nintendo afloat for the last, I don't know,
Yeah, but...
Do you see that
mobile,
dying?
I see its numbers eventually starting to drop, because I think it's already dropping some compared to how it was before.
Did you try to go find a Majora's Mask?
Yeah, but if you put out 10,000 units and you have 50,000 people wanting it, of course it will look as if you're selling out everything. It's a false. Have you seen a new one? I haven't seen a new 3DS.
You can't find one.
But that's what I'm saying. It's
But if they only put out 10,000 units,
no, that was 10,000 units of the Majora's Mask, right?
No, I'm just.
I don't know. You threw a number out there.
I get what you're saying, though.
It was a made-up number.
They're sending out not as many consoles or handhelds or whatever you want to call them to supply and demand.
Yeah, you're basically
there's more of a demand
a false
than a
supply and demand.
Yeah.
Possible.
Well,
that's one thing Nintendo has always done well.
Amiibos.
There's one thing Nintendo has always done well is marketed their product. They will make you salivate for their products, even if you don't want to. Even if you don't like Nintendo or you don't want to talk about Nintendo, you look on a thread right now, you're going to see Amiibos up there somewhere. You're going to see the selling.
Oh, that's a good point.
So either way, whether you consciously are aware of it or not, you're still talking about Nintendo in some way, shape, or form. We've done 3 podcasts, and it's not only because I'm a Nintendo fanboy, but we've talked about Nintendo in some way, shape, or form every time. Whether it be the closing down and rebranding of Club Nintendo, or their consoles and their Amiibos being unavailable, or their handhelds being unavailable, and now will they last into the future? But we're still talking about them.
With how the industry is turning, how gaming is shifting, how we are actually consuming our media, how we are getting it to us, like physical versus digital copies.
Yeah, good.
How that's all changing, mobile games and mobile devices increasing in their capability and their power and the actual game options available. If you're still just a hardware, this goes for Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, any hardware-based company. If you focus on hardware into the future, you won't continue to be sustainable on just hardware. You need to stop focusing on that and go more for streaming, digital, or software-based only in order to, and I'm not saying next year.
No, it's inevitable.
Yes.
It's an inevitability that fucking it'll probably be just lasered into our fucking brain at some point. So,
but
like,
I agree with what you're saying.
I do. I'm just saying it's not going to happen anytime soon. Nintendo's not going
As
anywhere.
a fanboy, I think Nintendo will be around for a lot longer than what we think. Or what you think. So.
Worst case scenario, they could just sell their fucking Mario shit. Just like, not a video game, but like tchotchkes, and they'll be making money.
So you can go get some Mario mints at Vintage Stock for $6.
You have anything to add?
No, I'm good.
All right.
I've added everything I can add.
All right. Our next is going to be, are pre-orders worth it any longer? I think Kirito's waiting for this.
Go for it, bro.
We tag you
Okay,
in.
so I am really, really, really torn on pre-orders. I have always been the guy who wanted the add-on item. I wanted the statue. I wanted the steelbook case. I wanted the helmet. And then
He pointed to the
I'm pointing
Halo
the helmet in the
Halo helmet,
the
by the
room.
way.
I always wanted those things. I stood in line for the midnight releases.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started to see a trend of lies. You buy this game, you get an exclusive skin, you get an exclusive map, and then it turned into you get that map for 2 months before everybody else gets it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get this skin, but everybody else can get it too. And it got to the point where I just didn't see the value in it anymore.
You didn't feel special anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean, you didn't feel special, but I'm
You
also...
paid a premium, too,
I want-
most of the time.
Yeah, oh yeah, buying the $150 version of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So really, you're paying for everything else. And now at this point, you know, I'm a heavy PC gamer. PC at this point is all digital. I mean, you can buy physical copies of games, but honestly, all you do is put it in, it reads the key, and then it downloads it over the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So you're buying a physical copy, but that's not what you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten to the point where I just want to buy the game, and I want to be able to play it as soon as the servers are up. And unfortunately, that doesn't match with physical copies in most cases. You can download it and play it hours before you'd have it physically. So I've just kind of moved on. I don't feel special anymore. Everything they give you for pre-orders, everybody else gets in a month anyway. And I don't have any more room in my house for more helmets.
Yeah, but let's say
So-
let's say because I'm gonna key into this. Let's say that you got something like a steelbook case with like an art thing or whatever. Like I got some
yeah.
over there. Did you even ever look at it? Because I never really did. You just kind of threw it on the shelf and it's just there.
I did. I read the art books. I
did you?
took the statues and I've got them all lined up, and they're next to my gaming area. But at this point, I can't think of a game. I will still pre-order, but I'm pre-ordering digitally, and at this point, it's just for the early access, not even for the bonuses. If I get a bonus at this point, I'm like, hey, I got something extra that everybody else will have in 5 minutes anyway, but I get to play it an hour before the guy who went down the street.
And
so that's what I care about.
They've been pretty lame too.
Well, they're all digital now. Like what we talked about. They're all digital.
We have a
Everything
code
that you're getting is a
on
new
the
costume
receipt.
or additional characters, or this costume you get it 3 months earlier or 3 days earlier than this particular person. You don't get any physical. Rarely do you get any physical tchotchkes like you used to get back in the day.
But you pay for them if you do.
Yeah,
You're definitely buying the collector's
you're
edition.
spending at least
to
a
get it.
minimum of $80.
I mean, you remember when you just got a tchotchke for pre-ordering the regular edition?
Oh, yeah. I remember when you would pre-order just a PlayStation 2 Naruto game, and you might get a Naruto keychain or something like that.
Yeah,
You're a
yeah,
fan.
yeah.
That was cool. That's awesome. Yeah, and those were limited. You can find stuff like that online now. But for the most part, pre-ordering a game right now, depending on what you're pre-ordering, though. It's really depending on what you're pre-ordering, because if you look at, and I hate to go back to this, but if you look at it from a Nintendo perspective, if you don't pre-order, you don't get the shit. You can't find it. So I'm going to bring in the new 3DS. The new 3DS XL. You didn't pre-order it, you didn't get the shit. Have fun.
Hell,
right?
if you pre-ordered it, you didn't get it.
Yeah.
And you were lucky to be able to pre-order if they saw it in 5 minutes.
Exactly. And the amiibos, again, another thing. If you didn't pre-order, you didn't get the shit. This isn't even it. This is a little statuette.
How long does it take for those to sell out?
They don't even get a chance to sell out. You didn't pre-order it, you didn't get it.
Well, no, to pre-order.
Oh, example. So I went to pick up my second 3 weeks ago. I went to pick up the first, second, third wave of like wave 3.2, right? So I went to pick those up, and as I'm going in to pick them up, they open at 10. I get there at 10:20 because I just happened to be driving by, and I go in like, hey, your amiibos are in. I got 2 of the 4 that was supposed to come out, right? So I get them, and he's like, oh, and we're taking pre-orders for the amiibos that are coming out in March 20th for Mario Party 10. I'm like, oh, okay, sign me up. He's like, but Toad's already sold out. I'm like, you opened 22 minutes ago. How is Toad already sold out for pre-order? Right? So I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. So now I'm depressed, and so I go to work, and I get online, I look, and Walmart just happens to have them. So I pre-order them at Walmart. Look, no exaggeration. I pre-order at Walmart. I get on my computer, and I IM it to one of my coworkers. It's in the other part of the building.
It's
say,
gone.
hey,
Sold out.
by the time he replies back, which was less than 2 minutes, they were all sold out on Walmart online for pre-order.
Jeez.
So things like that, yeah, you got to pre-order.
False.
But besides that,
Supply and
This is
demand.
only 10.
Yeah, as far as pre-order bonuses for games, it's ridiculous.
Well, I think you have a pretty good story about pre-ordering something to get something, and another person went. You two tell the story.
That was me.
Oh, that was you?
There's been a couple of cases actually. I think what the first one was Kingdom Hearts 1.5 HD remix or remake that they did. Is like you buy the limited edition and you get like the art book and all the extras and stuff off of Amazon. And I think it was like $39.99 for them at that time. I buy it, I pre-order it, and then I'm like, oh, this is cool and stuff. Julia's like, man, did I miss out? Crap, I didn't get it. Like a week later, he's like shopping around, and just like at Walmart, he picks up one. He like calls me like, "Yeah, I bought this. It was on sale. I bought the Kingdom Hearts 1.5 for like $25."
It was
and
Amazon.
And he was like, "Oh, was it Amazon?"
And that was
Okay.
months
And he
later,
was
bro.
like,
I told him about that.
I'm
It was
sorry.
$19.99.
Well, still, but he's months later. That makes it worse.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dak. You just made it even worse.
No.
No, he made it even worse by like I thought it was a week. So I'm like, all right, so they still have
It was
some
definitely-
inventory
it was about
left.
3 months later.
No. 3 months later, he was still able to get the limited edition version,
price that you would
half
pay
the
for.
price, and had every single thing that I got day one.
You
for
didn't
it.
pay. You didn't pay any extra for it though. That was just they were gonna put out that many of them,
No,
and if
it was a pre-order.
Well, they
it was
sold
not
it.
a pre-order
Well, they
bonus,
sold it
you
to
could have gone to the store, dude. Trust me,
Well,
I follow that
I get
stuff.
what you're saying though. They sold it. Willie. Okay,
okay, I see. I think I see what
they
you're saying.
Presented it
As
a
the-
pre-order.
you gotta
It's
get the
only way
pre-order
you can get
bonus.
it.
yeah, that's how it.
And they never
worded
released
it.
their standard edition.
Nah, GameStop. They just said
I'm talking about like on Amazon.
I pre-ordered it
when you
anyways.
Actually, look at when you look at the statement on Amazon.
said limited
when you pre-order
edition.
It says limited edition. You have to like this is what you get in the limited edition.
That's
It's a
Amazon,
limited
bro.
Quantity. It's
I
a
don't
limited
pre-order
edition.
stuff on Amazon. I want it day one. I want it when it comes
You
out.
usually get it day one if you.
Yeah, I
order
pre-order
from-
Best Buy
Yeah,
and
well,
Amazon.
I get it at either midnight or
But then you never play it because you're going to sleep. Or
so.
something.
So I still
But I
want
get
it.
what
I want
you're
them in
saying.
possession.
Why you get it digitally? You get it at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, no
It's
art
Eastern,
book.
baby.
No art
There
book.
was another one recently too. The Naruto
The
one.
Naruto games.
That's
Yeah.
what I was talking about though.
Yeah, the
It's
Naruto game. You went out and you pre-ordered it and got all the stuff, and you're playing
Costumes,
it.
extra
And
anime.
and you know me, I love my video games, but I'm also, I would say cheap, but I'm really not cheap. But I buy too much stuff, and so I was like, I don't know if I really want it. I'm not caught up on the anime. I'm not caught up on the manga. Oh, I can't play it. And then I was like, oh, and somehow magically I got a gift card, and I was like, well, I guess I'll go buy it now. And I went and bought it, and then I'm on the phone talking to Will. I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm about to play it. And he goes, hey, did you get the costumes and the digital download stuff? And I was like, what do you mean, all these little cards inside of my case? Yeah. He's like, where'd you get it? And I was like, GameStop. He's like, huh. And so all these pre-order bonuses that are exclusive to the pre-order are inside the case.
Which I think is bold.
I think my actual wordage was, what the fuck?
Because it's sad. It really is.
I agree with that though. I think that's
wait
just
and get it
bad.
cheaper.
You don't put it in the thing. You give it I mean.
Or like these day one editions. Like, oh, buy it now. Day one, you get these extra armors and so forth. I go to freaking Target 2-3 months later. Day one edition didn't sell out. It's still there. Well, I guess
Exactly.
I get the day one or I get the second shipment
Just like
for
what
the same
Kids was
price.
saying too. Like it just
You know?
and this is a part of pre-orders that we didn't touch on. Whenever a game is a horrible, it's basically release a broken game, but everybody's already pre-ordered it, and so they basically got all your money. Perfect example: Assassin's Creed
yeah.
Unity, and also I'm gonna say Halo Master Chief collection.
Oh, I agree with
Chief
that.
Collection was like the biggest fiasco.
And
Pissed me off.
everybody pre-ordered it.
Everybody pre-ordered because you're like, I'm getting all the Halo games. I can play them online. It was misleading. It was confusing. It shit didn't work. You know, I took a week off from work to play this damn game, And I actually everybody, you guys know Talia. Yeah. She was like, you can play your game. Fuck no, I can't. Shit doesn't work.
You know what everybody ended up doing? Everybody ended up just being like, well, fuck, multiplayer doesn't work. Guess we're just going to have to go play the campaigns again.
I didn't play the campaigns. I got mad.
I ran through 2.
And, like, that's the problem, too. Like, that's another reason I think, like, we
not fully
pre-orders. Yeah, we shouldn't pre-order because we basically teach the companies that we're willing to give you our money,
your half-cooked
and
steaks.
we'll let you go ahead and release a broken game
like
so you can reach your release cycle or whatever, and we'll just give you all the money, and then you can just keep patching it, and we'll just take it.
Dare I say, Nintendo again?
Nintendo will give you a fully baked game.
Yeah, there's software.
There's still,
I know.
Bungie's a company, or wait, who was doing the Halo Master Chief Collection? 343. Okay, 343 and Ubisoft. They just deal with software too.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying that you're like Nintendo. I didn't argue in
I'm gonna give you guys
games. They're good.
Perfect example of pre-ordering. So, I was at a store that I frequent often that will not be named because I don't believe in bad mouthing anything. But I'm in there and I'm picking up my amiibos because I've completed Wave 3 today or this week. And so I'm picking up my amiibos, and this guy comes in. He's like, "Hey, I need to cancel my pre-order of the Order 18 whatever." He's like,
smart move on his part.
But what he pre-ordered was the super massive, awesome, big $150 pre-order collector's limited extra edition that had the statues and all the extra things and the little book and I was just like, the box was humongous. I was like, what the hell is it? So I sat there and watched this exchange, and the guy goes back and gets it. He goes, I don't want to pick that up though. He's like, I just need to move that pre-order to something else because the game's only an 8-hour campaign and it's not really, you're playing he's like, I read the reviews and you're only playing as pretty much the cutscenes. It's not really, it's like you're playing an interactive movie. I don't want it. And the worker behind the counter goes, man, you got to get this game. Nobody's going to buy this.
What?
We're never gonna get this out of our system. He's like,
I can't move this.
You pre-ordered it. I was like, wow, you guys just sold some bad crack and you couldn't get rid of it. And it was just like
somebody would have bought it eventually.
I'm sitting there, on discount. I'm not spending $150 for it. I was watching.
Well,
listening. If they discounted, I was going to swoop it up.
I heard 8 hours was being very generous.
Yeah.
They beat it like 4.
Because this guy was sold on the pre-order thinking how awesome this was, the whole fanfare of this new game that everybody's going to love. It's steampunk. It's create your own destiny.
Sure.
And then he reads the reviews and like, oh, heck, I don't want this. And now they're pre-ordered, and they can't get rid of that.
Well, let's hope that he only put the 5 down, and he was like, you know what?
No, typically for those you have to put down 50.
At least 50. Yeah, that's what I had to put down for
when it's like 150. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think the moral of the story is basically, as consumers, we have to stop pre-ordering basically the software, the stuff that they're putting out, because we're pretty much teaching them that we're willing to keep paying for crap, basically.
Sure, like, and you'll be able to use your
if you're willing, like if someone's willing to put up with this, why would you change it? Like, they're still going to give us money. So even though like Assassin's Creed Unity was so broken that by update 3 that's released was addressing 300 issues, that's ridiculous.
No, I agree.
They still had more upgrades. Basically, that game alone has made me where I'm no longer pre-ordering a game ever. I'm waiting for it to come out before I buy a game.
Good point. Counterpoint, though, you don't really want the little stupid tchotchke that's in Kingdom Hearts 2, right?
Yeah.
Good luck finding it.
I know.
That was the weird thing. Like, the first one came out, and it was everywhere. Mm-hmm. You gotta pick and choose what you're willing to.
And it's really, when you pre-order, if you want the extra tchotchkes, you know your developers that are gonna give you something pretty spectacular. SquareSoft, Square Enix, one of the best ones. They're gonna give you something spectacular when you pre-order.
That Kingdom Hearts 2 one sucked though.
Zero.
Yeah. Like they're gonna give you. They typically give you something pretty spectacular, whether it be an art book. It's something that you're not gonna find anywhere else.
Sure.
You know.
Sure.
Nintendo. Sometimes on their first party things they do okay. Good luck with Microsoft and all those guys. They don't really do anything anymore. And now, like the big Sony titles are all just as some kind of digital download.
And it's on the receipt.
I should.
Which, like, if it was raining outside, oh man, you got to protect that with your life.
I should clarify.
Never get it back.
I mean, I'm never pre-ordering just a game by like
you
that's
need
a
some
standard
extras.
like a standard edition game. It's just the game itself, maybe some costumes or something. I'm never pre-ordering that because
I agree.
2 AAA titles came out that broken. I don't trust them anymore. And Assassin's Creed was one of my favorite games.
Honestly, though, at this point, you never should have trusted Ubi.
That's
They have
a
long history
I've never
of
had those
breaking
issues
games.
like that.
They've put out so many crap titles
I think
over the past 10 years. Microsoft having a broken Halo game was really shocking. I mean, that was shocking.
That's a good point.
Ubisoft game.
Because who would have thought?
I was like, oh, it says Ubi on the box. That's all I needed to know. It was going to be broken.
Whenever Halo came out broken too, I'm like, all right. Pretty much every game released in November.
But that made that seemed more like more of a server issue than it was because I could play any of the games. Did you have any issues playing the game?
Microsoft was a server issue. Yeah. Assassin's Creed was a code issue.
Yeah.
You know, I just pre-ordered and
I agree with that.
Evolve, which is a 2K title.
Tell me about that.
I'm enjoying it, but it's got some server issues.
Really?
Me personally, I can play 3 consecutive games, and then I will get dropped every single time. I'll go to the menu and their little 2K feed that they have in every game, you know, that's connected online. It says it's offline. Huh. I log out of the game, log back in. It's fixed. Huh. My friend who has a physical copy of the game, so I'm digital, he's physical, same exact thing. But I'm still able to play the game. The difference is it's got some quirks. It's irritating to back out and hit quit, but it's not broken like Halo was. So I could at least still play the game.
Yeah. I don't know. But pre-orders, you know, you do what you will. You know, if you really want to get that extra costume, go pre-order it. But if not, wait till it comes out. I'm pretty sure you're going to get the same costume.
And the last thing we didn't really talk about was like they do these like monstrosities with like steel books and like the last one I even bought a limited edition on anything I swear was Gears of War 3 and I was like, you know what, I'm kind of
for you would have been Nino Kuni.
No, that was just a pre-order bonus. I got a steel book case of Nino Kuni for just the regular edition of it, which was neat. That was really nice, but I won't pay for the limited edition anymore because I think the things that come with it aren't really worth it.
Unless it's another statue.
I don't want another statue. Like, where the fuck am I going to put it?
True. Yeah.
At this point, the statues are probably one of the only things that I'll do something physical because
but I didn't
get very many of them, and once I started buying them, you know, I got the Gears of War 3 one, the huge statue.
Phoenix,
and Elder Scrolls, the giant. You know,
that's a good point. I only did the. What was the secondary? It was the first.
It's the
limited edition. Limited edition, and then there's a legendary.
And then legendary, yeah.
But I don't know.
But my deal is like honestly, like, I mean, maybe you want a statue, but
you don't have any more room.
But even so, it's a game that I'll spend like 3 months with at most.
Yeah.
You know, because we've gotten to the age where we just don't multiplayer. I mean,
they put out another Gears.
I'm saying
I will play that. I mean, I just want them to put the old Gears games out on the new Xbox because I will play shit out of those.
I would,
but
I would too.
Other than PC games, I don't do any more multiplayer.
I just don't play online as much as I used to. That's my problem. So, all right, what's our next one?
Our next topic is going to be 90s cartoons being rebooted.
Well, I mean, personally, like, DuckTales just got announced through Disney that they're going to reboot that franchise. A lot of people really, kind of lost their minds for it, for good reason, obviously. And I think our generation is a weird generation where, nostalgically, we are all about it. I mean, you pump something out that was part of our childhood. I mean, one, it'll sell like crazy, and two, like, I don't know, it just reminds us of a better time. And I don't know that any other generation had that capability to bring something back where we were like, wow, you know what I mean? Technology-wise. I mean, like, our generation, I think, is the first generation that really clings on to the nostalgic past because, one, media was really big, and two, I think all of us kind of long for the not necessarily the better days, but, like, I don't know, my parents, like, when they grew up, like, there wasn't a Saturday morning where they would get up and literally spend all afternoon watching cartoons. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I just say the theme songs are what.
I mean, but you know the theme songs,
they
yeah.
They to church, basically.
That's right.
Gummy bears, bouncing here and there and everywhere.
But that is
you're like, oh my god, they are bouncing here and there.
But that kind of was our Saturday morning church, if you think about it. Like, I couldn't get up for school to save my life when I was, 6 or 7, 8. But on Saturday morning, dude, 4:30 in the morning, I'm up. I'm getting a bowl of cereal, and I'm watching He-Man. I'm watching G.I. Joe. I'm watching all those stuff. I think we all did that, right?
Yeah.
He-Man and G.I. Joe were before me.
Was that a bad analogy?
No, that's good. Like, my stuff,
that's
when
the
I woke
starting
up
point.
with stuff like, was like, duh.
Well, Gummy Bears.
Silverhawks.
Yeah.
But Gummy Bears was on. It was one of the earlier in Oklahoma. It was one of the earlier shows. Like, I would sometimes miss it because I overslept just a little bit, or get the tail end of it because I was thinking Gummy Bears, and I swear it was like Snorkels after that or something like that. Anyways, it's awesome. Will it be good? Maybe.
How could you go
but
wrong,
I don't think
really? Like, I mean, what would they...
Well, you could definitely go wrong.
Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles.
Which one? The movie?
What,
or
the new one?
Any of it, just any of them.
What?
The new one?
That's how you can go
The Ninja
wrong.
Turtles series is
The new
great.
series is amazing.
Well,
The Nickelodeon one? Like, I was skeptical about it, but the Black Nerd, Andre, turned me around on it. It is one of the greatest series ever. I own the DVDs.
The new series is good, but
okay.
just the
I think the next mutation.
with us being so nostalgic, we're running the risk of ruining
I agree with that.
all of our childhood because and
I know you loved the
just-
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
The
movie,
I didn't love it. I think it was
But I'm-
entertaining.
but I'm going to tell you that was an
Were you
atrocity.
entertained? Yes, I was.
You were.
I know, but you're bougie on movies.
You are so in the minority in that. I swear you are.
Like, a lot of the people I talked to, and I was like, yeah, I'm the only one who liked it. And they're like, really? I liked it.
Well, just think about it, though. A lot of the 80s, late 80s, early 90s are being rebooted. And they're multi-million-dollar franchise. Transformers,
Good point.
1980s.
Whether or not you like it or not.
Whether or not you like it or not, it's massive.
True.
It's massive. And it's because the people that have children that are working adults that are paying for
They control the dollar.
they're now like, hey, you're the working adult. We're going to remake your childhood and make you live it again and share it with your kids. So now that legacy lives on, and it's a very smart thing. G.I. Joe's another one. The movies G.I. Joe's. I personally liked them. Most people didn't, but I liked them. The G.I. Joe
I think the
movies.
second one was just fun, but
They
the
were
first
both of them to me.
First
were
one was
just fun.
terrible.
But it's just everything's coming back around full circle.
Yeah.
Well,
they know where the
Think
dollar.
about the Ninja Turtles movie.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, you haven't watched it?
I watched reviews, and I said, you know what? I don't even care to venture. And now I know, albeit
It really
I am
is
not.
mixed.
I'm not nearly as big.
Oh, it's
as a
not
Ninja
mixed,
Turtles
bro.
fan.
Yeah, it is.
Look up the Rotten Tomato score on it.
I'm not
We've done
nearly
this
as big
before.
as a Ninja Turtles fan as you guys are, but I love the original cartoon. Like, I love the original
course.
cartoon, and the new cartoon is actually pretty good as well.
it is.
But
Yes.
it doesn't hold, like, the original cartoon doesn't hold up like you think it would.
Yeah,
but I'll
that's why
still
I
watch it and
watch
just be like, it's fun.
mean,
I have the complete series.
I stumbled across the original live-action movie of Ninja
It's-
Turtles.
I think it still holds up.
It's still
Yeah,
good.
I mean, I was.
I mean,
watching
beyond that, it sucks.
it, and I was like, talking to my daughter. I'm like, Ninja Turtles. She's like, oh yeah, I know Ninja Turtles. I'm like, this is the movie that I watched when I was a little kid. And then I think to the most recent movie, and I'm just like, okay. Whereas I was entertained by it, not as much as Willie was.
Okay.
But I also had this isn't really very good. But then I watched it. I watched that. I'm like, yeah, that was pretty bad.
Really?
I mean, it just
Pacing.
to me,
It was all about pacing,
It
though.
was tainting that legacy
Uh-huh.
that Ninja Turtles have, and I'm scared that as we continue to do this, depending on whose hands. it's
I
in,
see what you're saying. Yeah.
is it who's if it falls into Michael Bay's hands,
Explosion!
it's gonna sell, but it's not gonna be Transformers. Perfect example.
It's not
Such
true.
finally technology could give me what I wanted.
Well,
in
yeah,
a
exactly.
Transformers movie.
But yeah,
And then I walk out and I'm just like, that
Disappointed.
was so sad. I mean, everybody hated on the new Transformers games, but that, to me, those were actually better and more true to the older stories than the new movies were, so I liked them better.
I see what you're saying.
Because it was more like the old stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just worried that...
But my deal is, you took all the parts of that Ninja Turtles movie, right? It really just came down to pacing. Whoever edited it did a really bad job. Whether or not you agree with what they look like or anything like that, it was
I
just
didn't see it.
it was paced so poorly that I was just like flabbergasted that this actually made it past the editing room floor.
Didn't they change stuff in the story that didn't really need to be changed, like their origin story.
Yeah, that was just
spoiler alert. If you haven't watched it,
like April is very integral to the Ninja Turtles' lives. I'll put
like,
it that way.
It's really the April story.
It really is.
Turtle background,
and it's funny too because it seems like, well, just for me anyway, not having watched it, but it seems like Michael Bay just loves him some of that damn Megan, whatever her name,
Megan Fox. Well, they had a falling out for a little bit.
I think that was publicity because obviously
it might have been
falling out. And you cast her and write a movie practically around her.
He produced the movie, he didn't direct it.
Okay, he produced it.
But here's the issue. Like, you cast a person like Megan Fox in a movie, right? Because you obviously want her star power or whatever she has. It's mostly probably her boobs. Sorry. But the point of the matter is like, you already have 4 CGI characters that are very well known. You don't need her in that capacity. Like in every April or every incarnation of April in the movies, even though that there's really only one good one.
Yeah.
She was kind of just a side character. You didn't need
her.
her
In the comic books originally.
So, anyways, what was the?
Did anyone else think the April O'Neil in the very first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was kind of hot?
No.
Or is that just me?
I might have when I was 12.
I honestly remember even being younger. I don't know. Even younger, I was like, "Wow, they really kind of went low." Oh man, I don't want to sound. I don't want to say bad. She didn't wear really. Freckles. She literally wore the jumpsuit as a raincoat in the very first 3 minutes. But my deal is like, nah. I mean, honestly, I thought even as a kid, I was like, "Wow, they went kind of plain with April." But anyways, what's the Rotten Tomato score on the new?
Well, the IMDb, it was 6 out of 10, and then the Rotten Tomato was 21%.
I go with Rotten Tomatoes. I'd agree with that. That's about 21%. Yeah,
I think, like Jurassic Park is another one. Now, I know that's continuing.
Oh, you're talking about they're not a reboot, but
it's not a reboot, but it's still continuing from our.
It's a reboot from this generation's perspective because there are a lot of people who have never seen it.
Here's the problem. Like Jurassic Park is one of those weird entities where everybody was clamoring for another one after 3, even though 3 wasn't that great to be. I mean, it was better than 2. I think 3 was better than 2 personally, but people have wanted more Jurassic Park for years. Like that's been in that movie has been in developmental hell since this time period. Yeah. Like they've talked about it and like, oh, it's coming. It's
just nostalgia. It's coming back around.
Ghostbusters. We talked about that.
More Smurfs movies. You know.
I didn't see any of the Smurfs movies.
The first one wasn't bad. The second one, ooh boy.
NPH.
Yeah.
Alvin and the Chipmunk.
Yep.
Chipmunks.
Which those actually were pretty good. I will admit the Alvin and the Chipmunk one.
I never watched them. They did it. They tried a Garfield one, but or 2. They made 2 movies.
He got to go to London. And
I think it was just 2, right?
There was only 2.
Either way, it wasn't worth it.
Either way. Here's the deal. It's not really a hard thing to do. Our generation is controlling the dollar right now, so they are going to placate us. Even it sounds bad, but I want them to on some level as long as they do it right. Problem is, Hollywood doesn't always do it right.
Yeah, typically not.
So
every now and then they get it right, but not often.
Yeah,
sorry.
It's just technology's given us the opportunity to take what was in our imagination for the better part of a decade, a little over that as we're growing up, and put it into play. And it's just, can they do it with enough respect for the product to change it a little bit, because we're not kids anymore and our kids are going to see it.
Sure.
But keep it true enough that I don't walk out feeling like I don't even recognize what that was.
But I think the problem is the people that are making it aren't our generation.
Yeah, that's
true.
One of them.
It's
they're
still,
either
which
uber
still
young, or didn't know it originally, or old enough to where they should know it and didn't.
I would love Disney to pump out. I mean, as much as I love DuckTales, and I mean, it's a good product. I would kind of like them to revisit Muppet Babies, man. Like Muppet Babies.
That was
dude, Muppet Babies was awesome.
No, I liked it. I'm just saying, you really
seriously.
Hollywood.
If you are listening to this and you don't know what we're talking about,
but here's the thing with Muppet Babies. If you because it might have been a little. Did you watch it? Mm-hmm. But they used so many cultural references for the day. They'd intercut what they could with like Indiana Jones, Star Wars, and stuff like that. Like it was an amazing show. Now, what you could do with it at this point is, hand drawn's kind of out, but
yeah, they're definitely going to go CGI if they have to do something like that.
Or puppets at this point. Like make a movie.
Yeah.
You know, the Muppets' relevance kind of died with Jim Henson, and they started, every
They've
once in a while
done well with
pump
the
some
movies.
stuff out.
The movies have done well. The first one in particular.
I mean, I love everything Jim Henson Company puts out.
The most recent movie since his death.
Did you see the last one? I didn't see Muppets Most Wanted. I think it was. I saw the one previous, and I was like, it was
tried
all
to
right.
stick true to the formula of having the celebrities and so forth.
Yeah.
It just didn't really ring in like the first one did. The first one was actually really good.
It was
won an
all right.
Oscar. It won an Oscar.
Did it?
Yeah. Best original song.
Oh, so it didn't win anything for like technicality.
No,
or-
but so bringing back nostalgia, bringing back childhood.
It's dangerous, but
it is very dangerous because there's an expectation, and it's never going to be met.
no,
Right.
never. But you said something about Inspector Gadget.
That's what I've heard. I wasn't able to I didn't take time to look at it as in-depthly as I would have liked to, but I've heard that they're remaking Inspector Gadget as well. Which could be kind of neat if they could get Cree Summers to do Penny again. If they
Well,
could
let's
do
just
the
hope
voice.
Matthew Broderick has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
This has been another episode of the Nerdgasm Channel Podcast. If you like what you heard, please subscribe to the podcast. Also check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and all of our other social networking sites. And we'll have the links down below in the podcast description. If you have any suggestions on subjects you would like for us to cover, just let us know. You can send those on our Twitter page, Facebook, or in the comments below. We love to hear from you, and we definitely listen, and we'll try to get to those because we do love to talk and we have our own opinions on everything. So once again, this was Willie, Unofficial Ninja.
Zach, Romeo 313.
Brandon, Kirito.
Jules, Fade Alexander.
And until next time, see ya.
Bye. Thanks for listening.
Peace.